battlefield between God and Satan, because God's dominion and Satan's dominion would be determined depending on the success or failure of the holy wedding ceremony. It was held in an extremely serious atmosphere. By holding the holy wedding ceremony at the intersection of good and evil, Father was able to return glory to God. Jesus claimed the family of love and the world of love. By the way, it is an amazing fact that Father could launch the age of artistic history. The bride that the Messiah welcomes is an individual, but she represents the whole world and meet him at the central point. Therefore, Satan opposes the meeting by mobilizing all the power of the nation, because the satanic Cain world begins to break down when the Messiah and his bride meet and set up the center. The satanic world wants to destroy the Messiah's family by mobilizing all the authority and force of the world against them. When a religion doesn't support the Messiah's family, it comes to belong to Satan. Even when a religion doesn't take any stand by being neutral, it automatically belongs to Satan. This means that when the central religion, Christianity, doesn't accept the Messiah, all religions and all the nations come to belong to Satan. We're now on page 545. That's why Satan does everything to keep Christianity from accepting the Messiah. Therefore, the Messiah and his bride meet in the midst of attack and opposition from all nations. The holy wedding ceremony is not held in a well-prepared environment, but on a battlefield. Father held the holy wedding ceremony on such a battlefield in 1960. By going through this complicated indemnity course, the legitimate couple was born for the first time in human history. Finally, after God's suffocating fight with Satan for thousands of years, and by overcoming spiritual death, the ideal couple which God originally desired has been established. The true parents, long cherished desire of God, were finally established on earth. From that point, the substantial four-position foundation centering upon God's true love could ensure. And we're now on subtopic number 2, the establishment of the 3 disciples prior to the holy wedding ceremony of the true parents. Do you want to read that? Yes. It's now 5:21, so we have 9 minutes to go. We have Nita here to read on. This is on page 549. 545.
Jesus definitely needed 3 disciples. Adam and Eve had 3 archangels, but they didn't serve Adam and Eve. As a result, the fallen world was formed. In order to stand in the position of perfected parents, the Messiah and his bride must have 3 absolutely obedient disciples in the place of the three archangels. Otherwise, we cannot drive Satan out of the physical world. People who symbolize the three archangels and the three ages, Old Testament age, the New Testament age, and completed Testament age, and who identify all the Cain side problems in history, are definitely needed. Those three people are to be completely obedient to the returning Lord, who comes to identify at one time horizontally the vertical history of the Old Testament age, New Testament age, and completed Testament age. In order for Father to hold the holy wedding ceremony, he had to restore the three disciples who betrayed Jesus. One more purpose of the holy wedding ceremony was to indemnify Adam's family. Adam and Eve fell through the conjugal relationship. The fall took place through a couple, so restoration cannot be done alone. Man alone cannot restore or save completely. A woman alone cannot go to the kingdom of heaven either. Two are needed to solve the problem. The standard of true parents should be established on earth by restoring the fallen Adam and Eve. In order to do that, the problem should be solved centering upon the three disciples representing the three archangels. Jesus is to replace Adam, and the Lord of the second advent is to replace Jesus. The returning Lord cannot stand in the parent's position without having three absolutely obedient spiritual children. Those three disciples are to be sons of filial piety to the Lord and to go over the boundaries of life and death. We're now turning to page 546. And follow their Abel in the midst of severe persecution. In 1960, Father established three such disciples. On that foundation, Father set up the family which is composed of 12 children, like Jacob's family. Centering upon the three disciples, the three sons, Father gradually set up this standard. The holy wedding ceremony of 1960 substantially determined the parental position on the foundation of having three disciples representing the three sons of Adam's family, the resurrected Cain, Abel, and Seth. This holy wedding ceremony is a significant celebration to identify the disunity of the three sons and the parents in Adam's family, which was the source of God's deep resentment. This holy wedding that took place in April 1960 in Korea for the first time in history was an event of universal significance. From that moment, the fortune of the new history started. Father established three children in the completion level of the growth stage in 1960. The three children symbolized Peter, John, and James. Prior to Father's holy wedding ceremony in 1960, Father matched three couples. Right after Father's holy wedding ceremony, the three couples were blessed. To bless these three families is to set up the condition that Peter, John, and James, centering upon Jesus, stand in God's ideal realm. The absolutely indivisible, victorious foundation was established on that day. To set up three families prior to the holy wedding ceremony is to set up the ideal of bride and bridegroom for Jesus' three disciples. It also signifies the establishment of the victorious lineal foundation. The three families became the central family to identify all the families in our fallen world. When the three couples are blessed, centering upon the two parents, 8 family members were formed. These 3 families represent Adam, Noah, and Abraham's family, and they are the restored Cain-type families. From here, the direct lineal children of God can be born. These 3 families are the Cain-type figures set up as the children of the returning age, replacing Jesus' 3 disciples. By serving the Lord of the second advent, they are to stand as restored archangels. Therefore, the 3 families are the restored families of the 3 archangels. So it's 5:28, and let me see. Well, I guess we got a couple of minutes here. Mouth a little dry. Number 3, the next subtopic, in the age in which parents pioneer with responsibility. In 1960, the Unification Church stood on the completion level of the growth stage. In order to reach the perfection stage, from that point, 7 years were needed. That was the first 7-year course. When we reach the perfection standard, we are to enter God's direct dominion. The direct dominion is the stage where God directly dominates our heart and our living. Reading now from page 547. The first 7 years is the course in which parents pioneer with responsibility. During this period, Father had to arrange all the internal and external conditions so that Satan could not accuse Father's family as he developed the providence centered upon his own family. Father and mother
It's okay.
in complete oneness as the representative of humankind were to resolve all the artistically alienated, complicated human problems during this 7-year course. They were supposed to stand on the artistic site bound to the world. Father restored through indemnity the way of Jesus, Jesus' family, and Jesus' tribe, in order to connect the one tribal dominion of God to the world level. Father has been holding the blessing ceremonies. By 1967, the national standard was established, and it was connected to the world level in 1970. In other words, through the blessing, Father laid the foundation for all the tribes in the world to follow his victorious tradition. The parents who are not fallen are called true parents, but Adam and Eve became fallen parents. As a result, the struggle and indemnity for 6,000 years have been left to humankind. That is due to the original parents' mistake. We should take responsibility for that. Parents should take responsibility. They shouldn't leave that responsibility to their children. Due to the parents' mistake,
I can do only 15